Good morning, everyone. How are you this morning? It's a warm winter day, December 4th, 2021. And I just wanted to share with my viewing audience a little bit about the Bible. As Paul says, I give thanks at every remembrance of you, and I pray that you will grow stronger and stronger in the Lord, in your inner man. And we will begin. So, have you ever wondered what is the big fuss about the Bible? You hear a lot of people talk about reading their Bibles, studying their Bibles, but then you look at them and you're like, they're no different than me. They do basically the same things that I do, watch the same programs, eat the same foods, act the same way. But is that really what it's all about? No, it isn't. This book is one that has not only been inspired, but it has inspired many people. It has been one that has led to change lives. It has caused people to be willing to lose their life and their livelihood. And there is absolutely no other book like it. There are many self-help books out there that will tell you that you can be all that you can be. But let me tell you, when you study the Bible, you will have a far different experience. Now, this book tells the story of our beginning. I know there are many people out there who believe that we evolved, and there is greater faith that is needed to not believe in God than to believe in an intelligent, creative being. I have not seen anyone put a bucket of bolts and some plastics in their basement, in their garage, and come back 10 years later to see a BMW, because I'm still waiting for mine. Okay? Now, for me personally, why do I love the Bible? Well, what I love most about the Bible is that unlike man's aptitude for revising history to make themselves and their generations previous to them look good, the Bible tells us the plain truth about the characters written in the Bible. It tells the story of a wise king who became a fool, of a strong man who became weak, of a king who was so dear to the heart of God, yet he connived, murdered, committed adultery, but in the end, he was still loved. That's what I love about the Bible. That where people see trash, God sees treasure. King David is a character in the Bible who took his friend's wife and got her pregnant. Then, when he tried to trick the man, so the man would assume that the baby was his, and the man refused to be tricked, and he didn't know he was going to be tricked, but he didn't fall into the trap, really. He gave the man his death warrant to take to his commanding officer, and he died. Yet in the end, the Lord said about David that he was a man after his own heart, and that David never did anything wrong in his sight when he spoke about David after his death. Why? Because when God forgives, he forgives completely, and he sees you under the covering of his son's blood. There's no other book that can take away the emptiness inside of you. There's no other book that can make you feel and know that you're loved. There is no other book that can tell you that there's a greater future than the one that you see here in this world, filled with tears and heartbreak and disappointments. What else do I love about this book? I love the prophecies. I love that you can historically trace every single word written in the Bible from writings outside of the Bible. It told of the land of Tyre that would become a place of nets. That's what it is today. It told that Babylon, which is outside Iraq, would be destroyed and never be inhabited. And Saddam Hussein, who tried so hard to rebuild it, it has never been rebuilt. It told of a nation that would be split, and as much as they would try to unite it, it would never be reunited. And that's the European nation right now, Brexit and all that is and that may come was already spoken about in the Bible. But it also tells us that a time is going to come where all of this will pass away and something better will be given to us. But what I like most about the Bible is that who I was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, the fears, the cares, the parts of me that I did not like people to see, God has been managing and changing. There's a prophecy, there's a promise, I should say, in Psalms 119. I believe it's verse 8 or 9, where it says, "Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his ways, but by giving heed to the word of God." Just like any other book, you can have it on your shelf, but it will not have any effect upon your life until you take it up and read it. Someone once said to me that education is change. So until you have internalized that material and it has brought about change, it means nothing and has done nothing for you. So for the poor witness that I may have been in your life at some point, I apologize to you. And I can tell you, it was a lack of me studying the word and truly allowing it to become a part of my life. So if you see anyone professing to be a Christian and you can still see attitudes and actions that may give you pause, instead of making that your excuse to not study the Bible for yourself, choose to do and to be the best that you can be. I think it was Mahatma Gandhi that once said, "Be the change that you want to see." Well, that's what God expects of you and me.